Right Way Home Care is a non-medical home care agency. We specialize in personal care, light housekeeping.
You know, we do medication pickup, groceries.
I have a mother-in-law that's disabled, and that motivated me to see, to go in her house to see what was going on, and different caregivers coming in and out, and just motivated me to use my degree to start a business such as what she received.
So I've been doing healthcare since 2007. I go into nursing homes. I do skilled care.
My sister is in the healthcare field as a nurse, so we kind of balance each other out with the business part and the social work part. And then she does like the care and the training, the caregivers and everything like that.
She has something that I don't have, and I have something that she don't have, so we balance each other out.
TCP Entertainment presents the TCP Laughs Comedy and Variety Show, Saturday, June 19th at the Zotropolis Theater, 112 North Water Street in Lancaster. Get your laugh on with some comedy, vibe out with some spoken word, with live R&B performances and more, to include a cash bar and refreshments for you to enjoy. DJ Lloyd Have Mercy will be on the set and sound, guiding the vibes. The TCP Laughs Comedy and Variety Show, Saturday, June 19th at Zotropolis in Lancaster. Doors open at 7 and showtime is at 8. Tickets are on sale now at Zotropolis.com or for information by phone at 717-219-8833. Brought to you by TCP Entertainment.
$500 in each to buy this club that used to belong to straight people. And so it wasn't because they had a love or a soft spot for that community. It was because it was supply meets demand. And they overcharged, it was overpriced, they underpaid the staff, they watered down the liquor, but it was a place for them to go where they could be themselves and to hang out. And so raids were conducted, but the mafia paid off the police to stay away. Well, one night the raid went wrong, and this was on June 28th. At 1:20 in the morning, 2 plainclothes, dark-wearing cops came in with a bunch of investigators, and they announced that they were taking over the club. And 205 patrons were in there at that time. Some were used to raids, some were not. The raid went completely wrong. Usually what happens is that anyone they suspect being transgender would line up against the wall, and a female police officer would then take over and search and conduct a body search to see what their genitalia was, and they'd be arrested. And that night, all of the patrons decided to fight back, and they were refusing to be, to have that happen. And there was one particular woman, I can't remember her name, but she fought back, and she kept escaping from the police. And the last time that they grabbed her, she turned to the crowd and all the bystanders and yelled to them, "Why aren't you doing anything?" And it just sparked off a riot. Everybody, all of a sudden, it just clicked. All the bystanders, all the neighborhood people, all the patrons that were there just started fighting with the police. And that is what that riot lasted for 3 days. It started on June 28th. It lasted for 3 days. But a year after that happened, to commemorate and mark the anniversary of the Stonewall riots, they chose June 28th as Pride Month, and that is also when they started doing the Pride parades and stuff like that in New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago.
That's an amazing story of how it started.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I often wonder that, like, even today when you see moments where people are just standing by watching some atrocity, in my mind I'm always screaming, like, why isn't anybody doing anything?
Yeah.
You're standing by, and it's awesome that there was somebody in that moment that actually had the courage to stop and be like, okay, no, enough's enough.
The sad part for me is that even today there are people who will make it okay or try to justify why it's happening. And if you can't realize that something is wrong, like if you're so Black Lives Movement, all people are equal. Well, all people are equal. If you have an issue with the Pride movement and what Pride stands for, then you need to reevaluate yourself. Yeah. Are you for equal rights? Because are we not all equal?
We're all created equal in the eye of God. So,
I mean, seriously, because we live in a time where across all of our timelines right now, we're having issues like Bonnetgate, or even like I know for myself, there was an issue where everybody's like, oh, TSA is wanting to pat down all the naturalistas, which is true because when we go, I've been to the airport on multiple occasions. They don't call me Hollywood for no reason. But like I've been there and they're like, oh, I need to touch your hair. And usually they try to give me somebody who looks like me, who knows what
do they think you're hiding in there?
Girl, I have no
Lasers.
idea. Nothing's in there but Bonnie pins. I said Bonnie pins. They are. They got
a new name.
Trademark.
you heard it here.
We got a
You
new
heard it here
name.
first. They're Bonnie pins. So I had my Bonnie pins in my hair because, I toss it on and toss it off. You guys saw that. But seriously, if you can't see that something is wrong and that this month needs celebrated, this month matters, this month, I can't wait to go to a parade. I have never been to a parade.
Really?
Oh my gosh, they are
I feel
so
like we have to
awesome.
go.
They're so awesome.
Definitely have to.
They're just, it's the energy is, it's, well, for me, I'll speak in my own personal note because I don't care. I am bisexual. I was married to a woman for almost 10 years. And so it's just, as also a woman who's multiracial, it has this almost the same weight for me as it does, with the whole Black Lives Matter and and the Pride thing. It all, to me, it all goes together. It really does.
I don't identify as bisexual, but I mean, I still feel it because I'm very good about separating myself and looking from another person's point of view.
Yeah.
Because you can never say that you understand what somebody's going through, so I would never pretend to understand because I don't fight that fight every day because this is Pride Month, but people walk around every day fighting their own truths. So I can't say that I understand, but I can say that I empathize with you. I can say that I'm all for the movement, and I will say that my platform is going to be used for the greater good, hence why we are on the Queen's Table and we are talking and celebrating Pride Month today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Preach, sister.
And I think you have to take into consideration too, when you look at what goes on in this country right now, even though Stonewall happened as many years ago as it did, not only do gay people in this country experience a lot of harassment, but Black women that are transgendered or bisexual experience murdered left and right.
Even in
Very high rates.
and I will say this, in 2019 there were Remy Fells from Philly and Raya Milton from Ohio. So they were both murdered. Raya was lured by three men. I can't say men, I'm sorry. I didn't read if it was
Three
men or women, but 3 suspects because they're innocent until proven guilty, because that's the country we live in. And then also Remy's legs were actually severed.
Yeah.
So my thing is this, it's not only are they being murdered, like, so don't be ignorant to the problem. You know, don't say, oh, well, people get murdered every day. People get murdered every day, but are they mutilated?
It's the violence.
Are they lured? Like, it's the excess of violence for me, because
It's
a
that
murder is
rage
violent
behind
in
it.
itself. Yes, like, why would you do that? Like, not only why would you murder somebody, but why would you mutilate their body? Why would you hide them somewhere where their family can't even have closure? Like, why would you do that?
And I think Tanya had a really good point she had mentioned before we started. A lot of the times you see that these people that commit these heinous crimes, it's their own rage with their own issues, with their own identity,
your insecurity and your
their own
sexuality.
insecurities,
Identity
and they're
issues,
projecting it on, and then it comes out in this horrific rage that we
Because
see.
they're so upset that they can't come out, and that's why they take all their anger out on most of these, transgender, gay. Like, it's sad that they do that to them.
It's
It
sad.
really is.
To date, there have been 23 transgender murders in 2021, and it's on track to be the deadliest yet for
And there's a
transgender
lot
people.
of murders that are still like under
Unserved or
investigation.
unsolved, yeah.
I had this, I don't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry. I had this written down in 2019 when Remy and Raya, and I'm so sorry if it's Rhea or if I'm mispronouncing it, but in 2019, 26 trans and non-conforming men, women, however they want to identify, were killed nationwide, and 91% of them were Black women. So for you to say, how many? Say that number again.
23.
And we're in June. We still have 6 months to go.
Yeah.
We need to do better. Like, as women with platforms, what do you think that we can do to help the movement?
I think the biggest part is going to be sitting here and speaking about it. I think not brushing these issues under the table. We need to address the criminal justice aspect. Why are so many of these cases unsolved? Is it because you don't care to solve them? Why is it that you can solve the murder of a lot of straight people, but for some reason we're having an issue where these are going unsolved? Is it that within the police, because Lord knows the police department is not
What it should be.
exactly. Well, that's the nicest way you could put it.
I have to be nice. My
Yeah.
father's an officer.
It's the polite way to put it. But how do we know there's not that protection?
There's a lot of reform still that needs to be
Still a lot.
to be
And
done.
there is a lot of murders that actually happen near us that go unsolved. Like, when I was younger, I remember my mom telling me, like, there was a young man that was found at the Lancaster County Park here, and that was in 1980, and his murder is still unsolved. Like, they found him, and he was mutilated too, and his name was Richard Ricky Martinez, and he was killed. Well, he was found December 13th in 1980.
And it's still unsolved.
It's
And that's in
still
Lancaster.
unsolved, yeah.
And we don't even hear about that. We don't have an
Exactly.
anniversary of that. We don't.
And that in itself is a problem, because so many of us have no idea what's going on around us. I know how many people do I know? I can count a bunch of them off the top of my head. I don't watch news. I used to be a person who didn't watch the news. I have problems of my own. I don't got time for that. No. I'm so happy for growth.
Yes, because you have to be educated not only about the environment that's around
Yeah.
you, but the rest of the world.
Yeah.
You can't just turn a blind eye. That's how we've gotten to the place that we're in right now. Everybody's sitting back and going, well, that's not my problem. That doesn't affect my day to day, so I'm not worried about it.
That's what the problem is.
That's
Until
the
it affects
biggest
you,
issue. Yes.
You don't care.
People don't take that responsibility of, you know what, I don't ever want this to affect me, and I'm going to make sure it doesn't affect anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, that's I think where the shift has to come in.
It's just it's humanity. Be a kind human.
I think the days of people being a friendly neighbor,
Yeah.
people worrying about the person next door, worrying about anything beyond themselves, I think those days are far and few between. I mean, we have a good group of people. We know people, in our personal lives that behave that way because we strive to be decent human beings.
Yeah.
But there's a lot out there that don't have that mindset, and I don't have the answer on how we change that.
Well, I just want to bring up that this is the anniversary is coming up soon, June 12th, for Pulse Nightclub. And that is hard for a lot of people because there were some people that were down in Orlando, Florida from Lancaster. They went to McCaskey and they were murdered at Pulse Nightclub. And it's hard for me to talk about because it's like, how can you go into some establishment and
You
just
wanna-
open fire? Like,
Tell everybody, because like we just talked about, everybody's not educated and everybody might not
Right.
even know what Pulse is. Can you tell them a little bit about it?
Pulse Nightclub is in Orlando, Florida. It's a club for openly gay, transgender people. An individual, his name was Omar Mateen. He was 29. He went in and he just opened fire on everybody. He killed 49 people, wounded 53, and there was a 3-hour standoff before he killed himself.
He planned it all too. And
Yeah,
his
he sure
wife or
did.
girlfriend or something even knew about it.
Yeah.
How dare you inflict all that suffering and pain on people and then take the coward way out?
Yeah.
He wanted to get rid of as many gay and lesbian
Yeah.
people
And
as he
I
could.
personally do believe in God, and so I believe in heaven and hell. I know that you're down there burning. I hope it's hot.
And
I hope
spicy.
you went there with gasoline draws
It's a
on.
different type,
my guy.
different type of hot girl summer.
My guy. I hope you went
But
there with.
what happened to his wife? Because she knew he was plotting this. Did she get charged?
I don't think so.
I don't think she did.
She should
I
have.
haven't even heard anything about her
I haven't
ever
either.
since that.
Again, it's
I'm
a
sure
lack
that
of
it
equality when it
seemed
comes
like-
to the criminal justice system. Because if that was a drug dealer's girlfriend and something happened with that,
Yeah.
you bet, and she knew, she's
It would have
getting
been.
charged.
It would have been in.
She's getting charged.
In Lank's newspaper. It would have been on YDR.
Yeah.
It would have
Yeah.
been all.
It would have been all
Yeah.
over the place. If you knew a crime was being committed, that's misprision of a felony. That's a crime that you should.
You need.
It just
you need
seems
to
like they
pay.
have like a certain protection too. Like when it comes to situations like that, she could probably plead a certain
Probably.
deal with them, and
I think she probably traded information. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'd have
But
to
if
look,
he's
I
already
think that's
dead,
probably
what
happened.
information could they have given of value?
I
I
guess,
think it's them
yeah.
turning a blind eye.
So
Yeah.
then, to
Yeah.
me, since he's already dead, why not charge her?
Exactly.
Somebody
Exactly.
needs to pay for something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She knew. She didn't stop it. That's a crime in itself. So the fact that she wasn't, and granted this is Florida and I don't put a super ton amount of faith in Florida. I'm sorry. I love it. It's beautiful. No offense to anybody in Florida.
Look,
But-
we want to be booked and busy down in
Yes,
Florida.
we'll be happy to come visit. We'll shake things up.
Yes.
But this was in Florida, and you always hear the stories about Florida. So I don't put a lot of faith in the system that's down there. But she should have been charged.
yeah.
She should have been. Absolutely.
We just need equal rights, like all around the board. And until we get there, I honestly and I don't know how we're gonna get there. I'm not gonna tell you guys my age because I'm just not. But I just look at it like my whole entire life, like it's been a fight. Like I'm from the era of Rodney King. I'm from the era of George Floyd now. You know what I mean? Like from then to here, like where is the change? When does it happen? What do we need to do? We need equal rights.
It's
And
a
it shouldn't
cycle.
it shouldn't be a difference from state to state. I think it should be the same
Hello.
everywhere.
Hello.
You know, like if it's like laws in this state, it should be the same in my state. You know,
Damn a
like, this-
Commonwealth state. I've been saying that
Yeah.
for years. I cannot stand living in the Commonwealth, and I can't wait to get out of here.
Well,
A lot of our laws are a little wonky. That's a lot of them are a little ridiculous. But I feel like when it comes to equal rights, even though, yes, we can sit here and say, like, okay, we've gone through this as kids and we've gone through this as adults, it's the same cycle that we go through every time. Something happens, people get up in arms, the media talks about it for a few weeks, and then it gets brushed under the rug, and we go on to the next. You know? So it's, right now in particular, and this is an issue that I don't want to see get brushed under the rug, if we're going to talk about equal rights here for a moment. One issue I don't want to see is Roe versus Wade is very strongly being challenged right now. South Carolina has just placed a ban on any abortion over 6 weeks. Most women don't even know they're pregnant until the 6-week mark, and that is with all restrictions. It doesn't matter if it was rape, if it was incest, it doesn't matter if the mother's life is in danger. It doesn't matter what the circumstance is.
Can I stop you right there?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, because you said it doesn't matter if a mother's life is in danger. Every pregnant woman's life is in danger.
Yes.
Childbirth has multiple different complications. So they're all, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that, but there are definitely those issues, whether it's preeclampsia or, you know, certain actual medical medical conditions that, you know, okay, if we get to second trimester, if we get to third, that's why women get put on bed rest.
That's why there's blood tests done to see if there's anything wrong with your child so that you can make an educated decision.
Exactly. And we have states across the country who are now placing very severe bans and that is a federal law. So when you get back to what you were saying about it should be we have federal laws in place that the states still ignore to the best of their ability. You know, I don't think federal across the board is necessarily the way to go because it doesn't work now.
Right.
You know, the federal laws we have now get overridden by state laws. South Carolina is, however, very strictly infringing on it. Kentucky is another one. Ohio, we have.
Let me write these down so I know where I'm not going to move.
Yes. So South Carolina, we're going to have a little list here. South Carolina has banned abortion as early as 6 weeks. Okay, now that one is temporarily being blocked in court. That's the biggest fight that we're in right now. Kentucky also has authorized for abortion clinics to be penalized. Arkansas, they can penalize the doctor, the physicians. Ohio has banned any use of telemedicine for medicating abortions. So if you're at home and you've had an abortion and you call your doctor and you're on a Zoom and you're trying to get a prescription called in, that's illegal now. A ridiculous law that prevents you from getting good health care. Kentucky and South Dakota have penalized physicians as well as physicians for not taking medically unnecessary action for a fetus. Now, the Kansas initiative for August 2022, if approved by voters, would amend Kansas Constitution and make it criminal offense to get an abortion.
I'm sorry. You're sitting here reading that, and
your blood is boiling?
My blood is boiling because, like, who are these people, and why do they think they actually have the right over a woman's body? Like, we're the ones who are holding the baby, bringing the baby into the world. We should have the choice to do what we want to do.
I think at the end of the day, and this is just my opinion, I don't know if anybody else would agree with it, and we've never sat and talked about who's pro-choice or who's pro-life or anything like that.
And I'm not.
Yeah, and I'm personally, I'm pro-choice. I have my reasons for that, but I respect however anybody feels about it. I'm raised Catholic, so it doesn't exactly fit with the way I was brought up to be pro-choice, but I have my reasons for that. My issue is this: when it comes to abortion access, it has absolutely nothing to do with the government trying to control a woman's body. It has to do with the government trying to keep poor people poor. Because I guarantee you, if some governor's mistress or some governor's daughter needs an abortion, she will still have access to it. It is about keeping people who are in poverty. It has nothing to do with them wanting to control our body. It has them wanting to control our finances, our position in society. That's what the abortion bans come down to.
Speaking of that, I did read something earlier that the hospitals aren't even equipped enough to handle transgender births. So how are you making people transgender or doing the surgeries and you're not even equipped to deal with a transgender birth?
How can they feel comfortable going to
You
term
mean like
with
someone who's transgender having
a baby? Yeah, like they don't have the equipment.
Is that
for
because
it,
of the hormone treatments and things like that?
Yes.
That it would, okay.
My thing is this: I just want everybody at home, and I will say, I believe that women have a right to do whatever they want to with their personal body because of situations like rape and incest and things like that. However, there's a lot of people out here who have misused abortion.
They use it
Absolutely.
for
like they
use
use
birth
it.
control.
They use it like it's birth control.
I
Or
had friends like that in high school.
you know what I mean? How many of us know people who have crossed state borders and state lines to go real quick on their lunch break? Wendy Williams went on her freaking, you know what I mean? Like in her documentary, her
Wendy
movie,
Williams.
her biopic, she had an abortion
She
and
did.
she went like on break.
She
She
left.
went out of state or wherever she had to go. Everybody does not have the means to do that.
How you doing?
How are you doing, Wendy? What's
She-
up?
she
I mean, she
lives.
put it out there. But it's just,
Sheesh.
it's sad. Like, we're no different. Like, your situation is no different than
Yeah.
mine. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
vice
Right.
versa. Like, sometimes we do get in situations where we're not ready. And where, in case we have points where little 14-year-old girls are passing their babies off to people in Chinese restaurants.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's still more
Speak on it.
investigation that needs to be done in that case. So I don't want to touch on that too heavily. But I will say, I commend that little girl. I commend her for finding help for her child.
Yeah.
I commend her for saying, I can't do it. I don't know what to do, because we don't know what. I know she was in foster
I was
care.
saying, wasn't she? Yeah.
I know she was in foster care. We have no idea why she was in
Yeah.
foster care. We don't know what situation that little girl came from. We don't know what
Right.
she's seen. She found help for her baby. She did what she needed to do in that moment to save her child.
And I think whatever she was coming from, like especially being in foster care, whatever she was afraid, whatever the situation was, the system failed that little girl.
It's a child.
You know, she's
Right.
a
Right.
baby. She's a baby. But again, referring back to Lancaster, we had a situation, it was not that long ago, where there was a young girl, I believe she was in foster care in Lancaster. She gave birth to a baby inside of McCaskey, and that baby was found
That's right.
in the trash can.
That's right.
So at least this young girl, as scared as she was, at
She
least
didn't know
knew.
she was going to get in trouble.
Yeah, she didn't know she was gonna, but she at least did what she could to try to find that baby a safe place.
And at the end of the day, what I want to say to that little girl, if she ever should see this,
I just want to give
you
her
don't
a hug.
even know in your heart of hearts, don't beat yourself up, because that's a mother's love right there. You sacrificed yourself, your freedom, you sacrificed everything you have for your child right there. She didn't even, when she got to that restaurant, I read the article and they basically said, she walked up to the counter and I don't know what was said at the counter. There was no audio on the camera, but she walked to the counter and then an observer, a young woman, and I'm not sure what her name was, but she saw her struggling. Like, she went back and she sat with the baby wrapped in a towel at a table by herself. Somebody who was there, she saw, and she went over and she asked her. She must have asked her, so she gave her the baby. The baby was having difficulty breathing. So that's really why she came there. She's like, my baby's not breathing right. Like, it, you know what I mean? So that when EMS came, situation unfolded the way it did. Like, so you sacrificed yourself regardless of everything. You know, you could have gotten in trouble. You still, I don't think she's going to get in trouble if I'm not mistaken, but she could have. She didn't know, and you did that. You had a mother's love regardless of if you were ready or not. Don't beat yourself up too bad. You're still a baby. You're still learning.
Yeah.
You're still learning.
And honestly, like, as much as we kind of take for granted, I think there are some things that we think are common knowledge. Maybe she didn't know. If she would have just taken that child to a fire
hospital.
or a firehouse or something rather than a
She
stranger
didn't
at a
know.
restaurant, she wouldn't have been in trouble at all.
Right.
Because you have those rights to do those things. And I think maybe she just, and again, that just shows her age. You know, she was a baby. She
I
was
feel
a
like it's
baby
not talked
herself.
about enough anymore.
Yeah,
It's
but
not.
that baby still, when paramedics did get to the restaurant, the baby's umbilical cord was still attached. So this child was clearly
She
just
had it. Oh, my
born.
goodness.
Clearly not born in a hospital. So who knows what this little girl
poor
had
girl
just
had.
walked away from getting to that restaurant in itself.
Right.
You know, and she's postpartum in that moment. It's I really hope that the system has leniency on her.
I was just about
I
to
hope
say
so,
that
too.
too.
They
You
shouldn't
know,
charge her
With
with
any
anything.
situation
I don't-
with
yeah.
a minor like that.
Rather, they should be addressing what the hell her home situation is, what's going on, and how this happened to a 14-year-old little girl.
Yeah.
That's what needs to be investigated.
So I'm super duper duper passionate about certain things. And knowing that, like, sometimes I have to check myself because it comes across like I'm too much. And everybody
just yelling
up
at
here,
everybody.
Yes, everybody up here will say it, and I'm working on myself daily. But I do want to I don't want to stop that discussion. So if you have comments, please continue to comment.
Yes.
But I do, because we do have to do certain things. I want to get into, how was everybody's weeks?
Yeah, let's get a little lighter.
Yes,
We've
let's
been
lighten
talking
up the
very
mood.
serious so far for this show, so let's
Lighten up the mood a little
let's
bit.
talk a little lighter.
How's everybody's week? I'll start.
We drank tequila.
Could I have a big flyer? So listen, so because we actually do be working over here, you know what I mean? We had a business meeting where we may or may not have had like a whole bottle of Don Julio, but we did get business handled. Ended up at Park City. Some of you may have seen me there. Shout out to y'all. But we were all promoting TCP Labs.
Yes.
TCP Labs.
Yes.
TCP Labs.
Make sure you get your
Comedy
tickets.
I am so excited for this
Outside
show.
is open, y'all. Well, it's gonna be opening soon.
I'm really
No,
excited.
it's open.
It's open.
I think the highlight of my week was definitely on Saturday. Bridget and I were up early. We were at Zootropolis, checking out the place, getting things ready, getting ready to go for TCP Labs, and oh my God, we had such a good time. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for everybody to come out. Make sure you get your tickets.
Yes. So right now, again, make sure you get your tickets, but we're going to actually get into some sponsored ads.
Yes, time for a
Oh,
break.
also, if you're interested in a sponsorship, inbox any one of us. But we're gonna take a break. Queen's Table taking a break.
TCP Entertainment presents the TCP Laughs Comedy and Variety Show. Saturday, June 19th at the Zootropolis Theater, 112 North Water Street in Lancaster. Get your laugh on with some comedy, vibe out with some spoken word, with live R&B performances and more, to include a cash bar and refreshments for you to enjoy. DJ Lloyd Have Mercy will be on the set and sound, guiding the vibes. The TCP Laughs Comedy and Variety Show. Saturday, June 19th at Zootropolis in Lancaster. Doors open at 7 and showtime is at 8. Tickets are on sale now at Zootropolis.com or for information by phone at 717-219-8833. Brought to you by TCP Entertainment.
All right, welcome back to the Queen's Table. I did just want to get back into how everybody's week was, because we just talked about that. That's what I did all week. So promo, get your tickets, and I did all of that because I'm hosting and because of the TCP Entertainment for the greater good too. But ladies, how was your week?
My week was great. I mean,
That was not a
I
proper
with
sentence.
you.
I'm sorry. How was your week?
How was your weeks? Mine was great. I mean, we had fun getting things ready for TCP Labs. We went for breakfast yesterday. That was a good time.
No invite.
Oh,
You were at work.
Yeah, you were working.
Was I?
Yeah.
See, look, I know for a fact. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, because I would have extended it.
I'm always working.
Because
Yeah,
we
it
hang
was
out in
good.
real life.
I am having an issue though with this heat right now. The air conditioner
It's
just went
hot.
out in my car. If anybody knows how to fix it,
Hit
thank
her
you.
up.
Hit
Hit
me
her
up.
How was your week?
My week was good. Busy. My week is busy. It's always busy. We all know.
Mhm.
I'm always working, but I love what I do. So, but it was definitely busy. Yeah, yeah.
How was your week, Vixen?
My week was good. I didn't have a bad week. Speaking of like Pride Month and everything, my daughter, which
my
is she's 8.
Hey, Ming Ming.
Ming Ming, I love you.
Hey, girl, hey.
Yesterday she asked me, why are people dressed in rainbow? And I was like, why do you think they're dressed in rainbow? And she said, because they're gay. And I'm like, oh God. I'm not ready to talk about that, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have a talk.
Yeah.
That kind of like made my week go boom.
Yeah.
So, cause she's so young, you know, and it's like nowadays kids aren't really sheltered from stuff.
Right.
So like they got the iPads, they got I'm not gonna say Facebook because my kids know better, but
Yeah.
it's just out there, you know. And it's like, when do you decide to actually talk to your young kids about this? Like they have so many questions, and it's like, you're too young, but I want to tell you, but I don't, you know. So it's just like, yeah. Other than that, my week was good.
I need you to finish the end of that story because it gets funnier.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
I had this outfit laid out on my bed, and she says, well, Mom, why are you wearing rainbow? And I was just like, oh no.
to her wrong queen, okay?
Yeah, like, listen.
Tell her how at her auntie.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I was
All
like,
right.
I'll tell
okay.
you, girl. Come on. Oh my goodness.
So, being as though we are all super duper busy, I wanted to get into this. And we do want your comments again, so please comment along with this, because I know every queen can relate, even kings can relate to this. How do you separate your work from your personal life? How do you, like, I can speak for myself, because I can only speak for myself. Not only am I so heavy into TCP Entertainment, but I have a full-time career by day, well, by night technically. But like I do it all. Like, I'm engaged. Yeah. There's multiple things. Like, I have tons of friends.
Bonnie's got layers.
I have layers. I do. I have layers, and sometimes maybe you'll get to peel them back. Maybe you won't. You never know. But it can be very hard for me to separate my personal from my business, from my work life, to it all. Like, so when you come home, you know, when you have a rough day at work, the last thing that you want to do is take it out on the people that love you.
Yeah. Right.
But those are the people that you see. So you get a little snippy with hubby. You get a little snippy with the kids. You might yell at them and have to apologize later, because you should apologize to your children when you're wrong, because they're humans too.
You should.
But how do you queen separate it?
For me, it's a challenge because it intertwines so much. We have TCP, my business partner for my day job. We all have a day job.
So my business partner for my day job is also part of TCP. She's head of HR. My boyfriend is also a part of TCP. So mine intertwines. I think my biggest thing is trying to figure out how to compartmentalize my emotions. If I'm upset with you about business or personal out there, it doesn't come in here.
I still want you to rub it.
Yeah, we can argue when we leave. I'll yell at you in the car, something like that. But in here, like, it's just all about making sure that it doesn't spill over into this business. But my biggest problem, I'm really bad at the self-care. Like, when I do compartmentalize and I kind of tuck those emotions in, I'm learning how to deal with them later.
And that's important, and I will say that because I've been doing a little bit of it myself. Well, a lot of it because I'm a lot. Self-work is so important.
Very important.
Self-work.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness. You can't help yourself if you're so oblivious to everything that you're doing. It's easy for you to tell people what to do, how to do it, how to fix their lives. I'm Ayanla sometimes when I feel like it. However, when it comes to dealing with me, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like, how do you deal with me? How do you deal with me? I come here, like, when I talk to, girl, don't I call you? I call you. Help. I can't. Shout out to Cookie Pope, because the Cookie Pope of TCP Entertainment, I'm quick to call, cuz. And that's, it's me too. Like, my cousins are here. This is all family for me. You know what I mean? It's hard to separate.
It does intertwine a lot. Yeah.
Sometimes. How do you do it?
The type of, well, with what I do for a living, it's always going to spill over into my personal life to a certain degree sometimes, especially because what I currently do, or who I currently work for, my boss, who is awesome, she's a powerhouse. She's very much involved in the community. Very much, and sits on different boards and stuff like that are very well known as well. So for me, the compartmentalization is really making sure which hat I'm turning off and on, especially depending where I am. If I'm in the because if I'm hanging out in the community where I actually work,
you never know who's watching.
Right.
And what their motives are.
I am very, 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 very much that type of person.
People hate you that
always
don't even know
like,
you.
Yes. I'm very cognizant of my surroundings and the situations and how much I drink. And
Well, what
I'm working on that still.
What do you do to switch that hat? Like, does anybody have anything that a habit they have, or a ritual to switch those hats out from, like, work woman to hubby at home with, you know?
It's not even that I don't talk about work. I'm very mindful of what I listen to, because I love music. I'm a lyricist. Like, I'm listening to the words and
stay tuned for Bonnie's mixtape.
Yeah, for real. My mixtape might drop soon. I used to rap when I was
Really?
younger.
I was just kidding.
Shout out to my childhood friends. Lee, what up, though? Ryan.com, what up, though? No, I'll say, like, see, look, I got sidetracked. Don't do that. But I used to, so I watched my music that I listen to, because if I'm selling drugs in my head, you know what I mean, and I'm not a drug dealer, and I roll up to work and I got to deal with children, I'm like, oh.
Wait, hold on. Let me not put the meek on today.
Backpack. Like, I gotta switch it. I turn it on and off. So also, like, if you're beefing with your man, like, the last thing you should be listening to is City Girls. Where the bag at? Where the bag at? You know what I mean? Like, don't listen to that. Like, just be mindful of that. That's how I do it. Like, I make sure what I'm listening to, because if I feel anything, I need to hear music. Right. Like, I need to hear music.
That was actually a sales technique that I learned like a long time ago. They used to tell us like to be very mindful before you went into a meeting of what you had on in the car. Like, don't have on slow R&B. Don't have something that's gonna get you in your feelings. Because you're not going in the right mindset. They'd be like, listen to something upbeat. Like, make sure. And it was just something to help put you in a better mood. I can't not think of White Chicks when I hear that song.
Me too.
And it's one of my favorite parts of that movie. Like,
but it's upbeat. It makes you laugh.
Yeah.
You can't help but laugh.
All I can think about though is Terry Crews.
That's all I can think about.
That's all I can think about.
It's the best though.
But Vixen, how do you?
Well, to be honest, it took me a long time to get to this point. Even though I am a big hothead. Going into work, I have to shut off myself pretty much. So like when I go into work, I'm a totally different person. I'm quiet. I don't talk to nobody. I go in there, do my job, then I leave. Even though people annoy the hell out of me. But then when I get home, I don't talk about work at home, you know, because I don't want to put that energy into my kids. I find time to meditate. I do that a lot. I try to center myself. And just like centering your chakra is really important, and a lot of people don't know how to do that, and it's just very important that you.
We'll have to do a special.
I feel
I read a lot.
But I have a question. I have a question for you, because you said when you're at work you don't talk to anybody, you just do your job. So how do you interact? Like, if you're having a rough day and you have things on your mental, and somebody comes up to you and wants to hold a conversation, how do you?
I mean, I'm able to do that, but I keep it strictly business and work. That's it. I don't talk about anything else.
I like that you have actual techniques though. You have actual like habits, things that you do to like help your mindset. I just smoke a blunt like a normal person, but like I like that like you do.
I can't.
I like that you have actual like techniques to deal. Like I've tried meditation before and I just couldn't get.
Yeah.
I don't know if I wasn't doing it right.
I have the incense, I have the stones, I have the books,
I have all of that.
The beads.
I'm coming over.
Yeah.
I have all of that. I'm coming over because I have yoga mats. I have
and that's very important too.
Sticks. I have
crystals in my car.
My girl in York, my girl in York. Look her up. Her name's Jasmine Orr. And also Amber Smith. I just got some of the protection oils from her. Protection, love. There were two more. I can't think of them off the top of my head. Peace is one, and then the other one
probably harmony.
I always find that like that spiritual side of things fascinating. Like it really is. Like everything from the crystals to the tarot cards to reading the stars. It's just fascinating to think that you can just do some self-soothing in such a natural way.
And there's different levels to it too. Like you have to start down here. You can't automatically just start meditating and think you're gonna be way up here.
Yeah,
it takes a while.
This is our first live airing of Queen's Table, so I can't even sit up here and act like I'm being queen-like right now, but I have a hot head too, and everybody who knows me in real life knows that. So sometimes, like, if I feel like I'm getting there or I'm having a day, I used to, before I learned how to manage my anger a little bit better, one thing that I can recommend to people who have a hot head, get dishes from the Dollar Tree. Everything in there is $1, so it's not anything super expensive. And wrap it in a bag for cleanup, take it out back of your house, and beat the crap out of it with a baseball bat if that's how mad you are. You know what I mean? Like, there are different techniques that you can use to work on your anger and still make it, I mean, you're not hurting anything or anybody.
Yeah.
There's a whole business now. There's a whole
I
it's like an entire chain now where you can go and you can, they have ones where it's like a room is set up and you can go in and just smash the furniture, you can throw the dishes.
Well,
I think
even that axe throwing thing will help too.
I'm worried about that. I saw a video
do it. I'm scared.
where somebody threw it and it like bounced back. That would be me. And I'm
I did it. I did it
I'm gonna
as a
lose an
date.
eye. Like, no.
I did it as a date a couple months back over. I don't remember when it was, but I went to the one in Harrisburg.
I got a question. I ain't gonna ask it right now. We're gonna talk about it. I got a question. Go ahead.
I feel like
bro.
he was axe murdery.
You did the axe throwing. I'm a little scared.
I was scared,
and I'm not afraid to throw the axe, but I say I'm scared because I'm a first responder. So I'm trained to like have to act in those moments, and I took an oath. So as much as I like to broadcast, like I'm off duty. I'll say I'm off duty, and we went before. My cousin's in the studio. Pooh, remember when we went to the parade downtown was it for Black Lives Matter or something was going on in Lancaster with the riots? They were rioting. We went down there and somebody had a seizure, and who took off running? And when I tell you I don't do anything athletic, including chasing these niggas, but I took off running, and like I say I'm off duty, but I couldn't do axe throwing, honey, because I know what to do, but I'm not watching anybody bleed out in front of me. That's the reason why I'm not in trauma.
Well, the range is a good one too. Gun range.
I want to go so bad. I have never been to a gun range. I want to get my permit. I want to do all of that stuff. So,
I mean, we can do it.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it. Just don't
I've
stand
shot
in front of the.
I've killed not gophers. What are the other ones? Hedgehogs? No, not hedgehogs.
Groundhogs.
Yes.
Groundhogs.
I've killed those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're terrible for your yard. They're terrible. They destroy your yard and your pipes and your decks.
My dog killed one the other day.
Yeah.
So really?
Yeah, they're not good.
Yeah.
You hit a bird.
I hit a bird the other day.
Listen, I killed Peter Cottontail.
I ran
once,
over a
and
cat
almost-
too.
It broke my heart. I started screaming in the car. I freaked out. Like, I don't know
The
what it
same
was.
day you hit a bird, I ran over a cat.
Yeah, remember?
Oh,
Because
that's
we.
right.
Yeah.
Because she
Animal
came into
killers.
the
Killers.
she came into the studio. She was like, "I hit a cat." I was like, "I hit a
no.
bird." What the fuck?
What the heck is a cat doing in the middle of its pike? I don't understand. Like, who let the cat out?
Who let the cat out?
It's a lot of y'all with y'all cats up because it's summertime.
Yes.
Okay, but no, we're not gonna get sidetracked.
Happy
I'll leave
summer.
that for Say Less. Make sure you guys stay tuned for Say Less because it's coming on after Queen's Table. Say Less is on at 5 o'clock today. But yeah, I wanted to go into our advice segment, and I wanted to also let you guys know, if you're not, comment, like, share, inbox us at the Queen's Table. You can remain anonymous, I promise you.
Yeah,
First of all, I follow HIPAA guidelines on a daily basis, so I can promise you you'll remain anonymous. But for right now, we're going to get into an advice segment. So if you need advice from the queens,
Let us know.
Yes.
Let us know. We'll be happy to help.
Okay, so this topic actually came from Steve and Shirley. Okay, so Steve and Shirley, they wrote, this lady wrote in, okay, so 2 years ago, after a drunk night, we've all been there, Shorty has sex with her sister's husband.
Oh.
Okay, so she made him swear that it would never happen again. Of course, he was persistent. So he would do things like making eyes at her across the dinner table, sending her
I take my
message or
glasses
things
off.
like that, sending out the bat signal.
Tanya gotta get ready. She's starting to sweat.
But listen, he was super persistent. What happens again? Dun dun dun. She gave in.
Gets the buns.
So she gave in. She got the D. She said that she longs, and these are her words, longs to have a man like her sister's husband.
Oh my God.
She has no guilt. Her words. He's told her, and we all know how manipulating and conniving some men can be. He told her that he wants her, but it's complicated.
I need tape on my mouth.
So her question basically was, and we're going to answer as the queen. So she wants to know, should she see what happens, and potentially, she said if her sister finds out, she's going to lose her sister for life, and she knows that. But she wants to know if she should do that and just go be happy.
I just want to beat her. Never mind.
Listen,
There's no happy for your soul.
That
There's
is
no
terrible.
happy for your soul.
So even if you're watching, please comment what you would do. What should she do? Should she live her best life and say, forget my sister, I can find another one and go be happy?
Oh my God.
Or should she just kind of see what happens and let it play out?
There are millions of people on this earth, and you have to have him?
Right.
Look,
You
I
can
gotta
find a
woosah
man just
my ears.
Because then that's gonna sit in the. I would think in
I've
that
been
case,
cheated
like
on,
you were
like-
probably always attracted to this man. You
Yes.
probably. You
Right.
can't tell me it was just one drunk night. You were always eyeballing him to some
And
extent.
it sounds like she also was always been envious of her sister.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
was gonna
sure.
say that.
Covets thy neighbor. That's a sin.
Covet thy neighbor's wife,
Yeah.
husband in this case.
Wife, husband,
Sister
whatever.
wives.
Sister wives.
Like you got your sister in
That's
a whole
really a
situation.
thing.
You have your
Really a
sister in a,
thing.
not only like you have to that to me the whole situation is just selfish.
It's messy.
It's selfish and it is messy, but it's more so selfish to me because you disregarded your sister's feelings now.
Yeah.
There's kids involved.
I don't know. I don't know,
Oh my
but
God.
I mean,
I
we
mean,
all know
it
situations.
can't be that good. Like,
It can't be.
can't be that good
It
to
can't
go
be.
stab your sister in the
We
back.
have a comment.
I do have a comment. She says she wants a husband like her sisters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she wants a husband that cheats on her.
Exactly.
Bingo, sister.
Exactly. And
that
that's
means
what
you're
we-
stupid.
That's what people fail to realize. They fail to realize the same way that you get a man
Mhm.
is the same
How
way that
you
you get
lose
a
him.
Yeah, the mom
Yes.
must have dropped her instead of the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
And
On
do
the
not
head.
compare
Well, then-
women who've actually married their don't, because that's very rare. That
Yeah.
someone cheats and marries the person and stays with them.
And
it
if
doesn't
they-
And
count
stays
them.
faithful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very slim.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were to do something where you decided you're going to tell your sister, do you think that automatically means he's going to leave her?
He's not.
He's not gonna
No,
leave her.
he's gonna grovel to his wife and make up with
Exactly.
her. I
And that's the
promise you
thing.
that.
Like, you're, regardless of that being your sister, you're still just the mistress. And how many times does the mistress get promised, oh, I'll leave my wife? He's not leaving her.
Why do you want to be
He's not
second?
leaving her. And then you're going to lose your sister and the man that you're in love with. You
Not
never
only
should have
that,
allowed
How dare
it.
him to go to the sister?
He's trashing himself.
Well, he
men
could have
only-
cheated with anybody else.
Men only do what we allow them to do.
Let me ask you ladies
Facts.
this. If you had a sister and this was your
I
sister,
have a sister.
would you
I'ma
want
put
her to
myself in her
tell
shoes.
you?
That she
Like, if your sister was like fucking your husband, would you want
We
her
would probably
to tell
fight
you?
and I would make up later.
I want
Would
him to tell
I
me.
want my sister to tell me if she had sex with my husband?
And like this
Um,
level where it's like she's in love,
my God.
infatuated,
Oh my God.
obsessed.
I do want my sister to tell me. I absolutely want my sister to tell me. I absolutely would want her to tell me.
Yeah.
Because if she doesn't say anything and I find out, first of all, the reaction, I can't say what I would do because my sister would never.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She would never. But I don't tell me because I need to know. But if I find out on my own and I have to start investigating or I'm side-eyeing you at Thanksgiving and you think you're about to cousin faith me, did you see
Right.
what happened?
Right.
I can make it there.
Yeah.
You hear me? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not Vanessa Williams. I'm going to make it to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
And whether it be hands, elbows, feet, and I am a queen, but
It
hands,
definitely ain't gonna
elbows,
be no
feet.
butcher knife, that's for sure.
The queens know how to fight too.
And straighten her crowns and we're
Look,
done.
what would y'all do? Look. Okay, so right about now,
I don't think I mean, I'd never be able to forgive her.
No.
Ever.
Mm-mm.
What about now?
I don't know. I mean,
There's no trust.
There is no trust. There's no loyalty. Like, where is your loyalty? Like, at the end of the day, that man took vows with that woman. You
Yeah.
didn't marry your sister. Your sister's supposed to do right by you, but because she's supposed to do right. I took vows with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you promised me that you would do this. My sister's my sister because we came out the same cooch. You know what I mean? So we're always gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I would have to forgive my sister. I would have to because I can't walk around with that on my heart.
Right.
I would forgive
you
my
forgive
sister.
for
I might
yourself.
not
has
want a
not for them.
relationship
I
with
I
her
can't say that
anymore.
I wouldn't want a relationship with her because for me, my sister
Yeah.
has kids, so to get their kids, I gotta, you know.
See,
what
I
I
don't
mean?
have sisters, so this is like a hard question for me. I only have
You
brothers.
say no, Vixen?
I would not forgive my sister.
I don't think I could. I don't
Nope.
think I
would
could.
have duct tape, rope, shovel.
Tana's
I'll bring
always
the
on
glitter
go.
tarp.
She's always ready.
I could not. I'm
Ladies,
sorry.
So you say you're done. She says
I'm done.
over.
Nope.
Because we're just about at time.
Yes.
Look how fast it goes when you're having
Mm-mm.
We're just about at time. This was our first live episode.
Yes.
We were kind of nervous, honestly, and I don't get nervous because I'm gonna say less, but I got a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, but I will say that I think this was an amazing episode.
so too.
I just wanted to reiterate
Yes.
TCP Labs.
Yes. Get your tickets.
TCP Labs.
You are
And
ready
don't
for
forget,
fun.
if you have questions, if you
Your
have advice that you need, be sure
Yep.
to let us know.
Yep.
If there's a topic, if there's something you want to bring attention to, something you want us to discuss on here, be sure to let us know too.
I'm
You
even
know,
open to constructive criticism.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, me too.
Absolutely. But
I'm ready for it.
make sure you tune in next week.
Make sure you all tune in next week. We'll be back Facebook
Every
Live.
Sunday.
Yes.
And watch Say Less after this because Hollywood Bonnie's going to be on there at 5 p.m. Shameless plug. Shameless. Shameless.
TCP Entertainment presents the TCP Laughs Comedy and Variety Show. Saturday, June 19th at the Zotropolis Theater, 112 North Water Street in Lancaster. Get your laugh on with some comedy, vibe out with some spoken word, with live R&B performances and more, to include a cash bar and refreshments for you to enjoy. DJ Lloyd Have Mercy will be on the set and sound, guiding the vibes. The TCP Laughs Comedy and Variety Show. Saturday, June 19th at Zotropolis in Lancaster. Doors open at 7 and showtime is at 8. Tickets are on sale now at Zotropolis.com or for information by phone at 717-219-8833. Brought to you by TCP Entertainment.
Right Way Home Care is a non-medical home care agency. We specialize in personal care, light housekeeping.
You know, we do medication pickup, groceries.
I have a mother-in-law that's disabled, and that motivated me to see, to go in her house to see what was going on, and different caregivers coming in and out, and just motivated me to use my degree to start a business such as what she received.
So I've been doing healthcare since 2007. I go into nursing homes. I do skilled care.
My sister is in the healthcare field as a nurse, so we kind of balance each other out with the business part and the social work part, and then she does like the care and the training, the caregivers and everything like that.
She has something that I don't have, and I have something that she don't have, so we balance each other out.